Hello and welcome to all of you. I am Anil Arora, Assistant Professor in Electronics and Communication Engineering Department. Today we will start the new session on oscillators, and this is the part 1 for this topic, oscillator. This topic is under the course Analog Electronic Circuits, and the lecture contents for today's session are Introduction to Sinusoidal Oscillator, the Bark-Hassan criteria, and this criteria is for sustained oscillations, and the practical considerations. These are the references for today's session. Oscillators. So as the name suggests, the circuits which oscillates are oscillators. This is the simplest definition, but the output of these oscillator circuits are sinusoidal waveforms. So for the circuit, we can say that the circuit configurations which deliver an sinusoidal output waveform even without input signal excitation. So the main point for the oscillators are we receive the output waveforms without input signal excitation. It means we do not need to apply any input signal to the circuits for the oscillators, and we receive the sinusoidal outputs at the sinusoidal waveforms at the output. And we can understand the oscillator circuit using this simple feedback network, as we have covered in our earlier sessions in the negative feedback. So here we will use the same feedback circuit to understand the oscillators. This is the basic amplifier with gain A, and this is the feedback network with feedback factor beta. So here we can say that the input to the feedback network is the V naught, and the output of feedback network is VF, that is the feedback signal. So here it is written that this is the feedback signal. So here we can apply the Vs, that is the source signal, and this is the Vi, that is the signal to the input of the amplifier A. Here we can see that the plus sign is written, means the basic principle of oscillator are positive feedback. Here we can see that the basic principle of oscillator is the positive feedback. In earlier sessions, we discussed about negative feedback. So the oscillators have the positive feedback in their configuration. So let's understand this positive feedback. Positive feedback means the feedback signal is added to the signal voltage, and the addition of these two make the input voltage. So we can say that Vi, the input to the amplifier, is the Vs plus Vf. So this is the positive feedback, means the feedback signal is added to the source signal to make the input voltage. So let's calculate the loop gain for this circuit. So here we can say that the output voltage V0 is equal to A into Vi. So here we can say that the input to the amplifier is Vi, and the output of the amplifier is the V0, and the gain of the amplifier is A. So we can write this equation that V0 is equal to A into Vi. Also we know that since this is a positive feedback, the input voltage Vi is equal to the source signal plus feedback signal. So we can write this Vi in this equation. So we have V0 is equal to A into Vs plus Vf. Now we can see that this is the feedback signal, and the feedback signal is the beta into V0. Since we know that V0 is the input to the feedback network and beta is the feedback factor for this feedback network. So we can write Vf is equal to beta V0. So putting this Vf is equal to beta V0 in this equation, we have A into Vs plus beta V0. So we can simplify the equation as A into Vs plus A beta V0. Here it is also V0. So rearranging the similar terms, we have V0 minus A beta V0 is equal to A Vs. So we rewrite it again. So V naught into 1 minus A beta is equal to A into Vs, or we can write it as V naught upon Vs is equal to A upon 1 minus A beta. So as in the beginning, we discussed that the oscillators are the circuits without input signal excitation. So we can say that in this equation, in this expression, Vs is equal to 0. So when we put Vs is equal to 0, we can say that 1 minus A beta is also 0. So when Vs is equal to 0, we can say that 1 minus A beta is also equal to 0, or we can say that A beta is equal to 1, or the mode of A beta is equal to 1. So for the positive feedback, we can say that A beta is equal to 1 in this equation. Now, if A beta is equal to 1, that is the loop gain. A beta is the loop gain of the this circuit configuration, loop gain. Why it is called loop gain? Since we know that this is the one complete loop, and in this loop we have the amplifier with the gain A and the feedback network with gain beta. So the gain of complete loop is the A multiplied by beta. So we can say that A beta is the loop gain for this circuit configuration. And for this positive feedback, we can say that A beta is equal to 1. The loop gain is equal to 1. So for the now, if we Vs is equal to 0 means when we remove the input signal excitation, in that case also we have the output. How? So when we remove the Vs, we can say that Vi is equal to 0 plus Vf, or Vi is equal to Vf. Vi is equal to Vf when we remove this Vs. So when Vi is equal to Vf, we are receiving Vf as the input, or that Vf is multiplied by again A, and we have the output. So we have the output without any input signal source. If AB is equal to 1, if the loop gain is equal to 1, we can say that we receive the output without applying any input signal. Hence, for the loop gain A beta is equal to 1, or the positive feedback, we have the oscillator circuit without any input signal excitation, and we receive the output waveform, sinusoidal output waveform at its output. So the Bar-Kassan criteria. Now this is the criteria for sustained oscillations, or we can say for the oscillations. Now let's discuss the Bar-Kassan criteria. As in the last slide, we can see that this is a circuit. Here one condition we have derived that A beta should equal to 1, or A beta loop gain should be equal to unity. Other thing is that if we have to have the positive feedback, the phase shift in the signal, or the phase shift of the signal in this loop must be equal to 0. Means there should be no phase shift in the signal, so that it can be properly added, or the proper positive feedback we can get. For that, there should be no phase shift in the signal. So we can say that an oscillator will operate at that frequency for which the total phase shift is introduced. Now what is total phase shift? Means we in this circuit we have two amplifiers. One is the amplifier A, and one is the feedback network B. So the total phase shift in the circuit should be equal to 0. The total shift means the signal can have phase shift in this amplifier, or the signal can have phase shift in this amplifier. If there is no phase shift in the amplifier A, there should be no phase shift in the feedback network. But if there is any phase shift in the amplifier A, then the total phase shift of the amplifier A and the feedback network should be equal to 0, or the 360 degree. Oh, similarly, hence we can say that an oscillator will operate at frequency for which the total phase shift introduced in the complete circuit as measured from the input terminals through the amplifier and the feedback network and back again to the input is precisely equal to 0 or 360 degree or multiple integral multiple of 2 pi or 360 degree. So the 0 degree or 360 degree means there is no phase shift in the signal. So we want, if a signal moves in a circuit, in this circuit, then from this point to this point, and or in, we can say in the complete loop, there should be no phase shift in the signal. Now suppose our amplifier gives, is the inverted amplifier, and gives 180 degree of phase shift in the signal. So if there is a 180 degree phase shift in the signal, now to receive the signal at this point with 0 degree, this feedback network should also give the 180 degree phase shift, so that the complete phase shift is equal to 360 degree, and that we may assume as the 0 degree. So either none of the amplifier, none of the these two circuits give the phase shift, or the total phase shift or the sum of the total phase shift of the loop should be equal to 360 degree. So this is the first criteria. The or the it means the angle or phase shift in the A beta should be equal to 0 degree or 360 degree. So this is the first criteria or the first condition for the sustained, or we can say for the oscillations. This is the first part of the Bark-Hassan criteria. The second point is, at the oscillator frequency, the magnitude of the product of transfer gain A of the amplifier and the magnitude of feedback factor of the feedback network beta must be equal to unity. As we discussed in the last slide also, that the loop gain of the amplifier should equal to unity. Since we know that for the positive, for the oscillator, we should have positive feedback, and this, for this positive feedback, A beta should be equal to unity. So this is the second condition. For the Bark-Hassan criteria, we have two parts. One is related to the phase shift and another related to the loop gain. For the phase shift, we must have the total phase shift equal to 0 or 360 degree for maintaining the positive feedback. Also, we should have the loop gain equal to unity. So these two conditions are called Bark-Hassan criteria. Now the practical consideration. So ideally we have discussed the Bark-Hassan criteria, but practically what should we have is, so if we have the loop gain is greater than, first we discuss the, if A beta is less than unity, then what happens? So once, if the oscillation starts, then these oscillations will be on damping mode, means it will become 0 after some time, since we have A beta is less than 1. The loop gain is, if the loop gain is less than unity, our oscillations will be damped oscillations, means the oscillations will become 0 after some time. Now the another condition is that if we have the loop gain is greater than unity, then what will happen? Then our oscillations will start and its amplitude will keep on increasing. We will not have the sustained oscillation. Sustained oscillation means the frequency doesn't change and the amplitude also doesn't change. But for A beta greater than unity, we have this kind of oscillations, means the amplitude of the oscillations keeps on increasing. We don't want the both kinds of oscillations, we don't want. So we can say that if A beta is less than unity, after removal of external generator of the external signal will result in cessation of oscillations, means our oscillations will be kind of damping nature and will become 0 after some time. And if A beta is larger than unity, the amplitude of oscillations will continue to increase without limit. But there is one constraint in that we have the non-linearity in our system. So we can say that, but Of course, such an increase in amplitude can continue only as long as it is not limited by the onset of non-linearity in the circuit of the operation in the active devices associated with the amplifiers. So there are active devices with the amplifiers. So it will increase as it is not limited by the onset of nonlinearity. Such a non-linearity becomes more marked as the amplitude of oscillations increases. This onset of non-linearity to limit the amplitude of oscillations is an essential feature of operation of all practical oscillations. So we can understand this by, since we have some circuits, some BJTs or some other components, reactive components in our circuit of oscillation, and with the time their parameters changes, our performance changes. So we can have A beta is greater than 1 or less than 1. So in the practical cases, if we keep the loop gain of our circuit greater than unity, then we have the sustained kind of oscillations. In other words, we can say that in the practical oscillator circuits, loop gain A beta is kept somewhat larger than unity in order to ensure that with incidental variation in the transistor and circuit parameters, loop gain shall not fall below unity. So we can understand that with the time, the performance varies. The transistor or other active components performance varies. So we don't want our A beta should go less than unity. So in the beginning, we keep our loop gain is larger than unity so that we can have the sustained oscillations. So this was all about oscillators. Thank you.